So hi, welcome to Rise Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
It's a Throwback Friday posted on a Monday.
We keep fucking mixing it up and fucking everything up, but it's kind of awesome, right?
Yeah, we can't keep it consistent right now. Look at that.
No, not to fucking save our life.
Yeah, wait until they find out we're just stockpiling these for the world traveling adventures. And
don't tell them that, man.
And we cannot record however many we need in one day. We'll go actually insane. So we've been sprawling it out, getting them done, moving and grooving here. But as I'm sure you could have told by the title, we're chatting today about Don Broco and their 2016 album Automatic.
Don't you wanna be automatic?
Last week we chatted about their 2012 album Priorities.
I'm not gonna keep doing.
Glory is the resident Don Broco fan here, as
enjoyer.
Normal about the band, as we established last week, and we'll continue to establish throughout the next couple of weeks because we've got 2 more albums left after this. We'll just continue to establish that fact and that idea
that maybe I like them a little bit.
I think it's important to note because we let you take the reins here. I learned so much about the band, but I'll actually kick this one off because this is Priorities, as I said, was very much like I saw what Don Broco would then become in that record, but this is the album where I've heard more of Technology, which is what we're chatting about next week, but this is the album where this is the Don Broco that I know. They're starting to get a little more funky. Yes, I don't see the vision. This is the vision. There was a gap of several years in between the last record and this one, 4-year gap. So it makes sense. But yeah, I start to see the vision a little bit more with this one. I mean, it picks right up with You Want to Know, like the funky ass fucking bass lines,
bro.
is Tom. Yes, Tom killing it on the bass is exactly, the kind of thing that I expect from Don Broco, along with, the going back and forth of Matt and Rob's vocals. And, as we established last week, Rob's buttery smooth delivery.
Goddamn.
But I also... obviously it was happening on the last record. You spoke about it, and that switch off between Rob and Matt. But this is like the style in which it's done on this album is how I've experienced it in the past. So I was very quick to pick up on it because it's like the first song. Matt is just shattering through Rob immediately. It's like you can't miss him.
No, and it's fucking beautiful. Yeah.
So that was like my main takeaway from the record, as someone that has dabbled with the band, has seen them live a couple of times, but never really dove into them. This record is like, this is what I know Don Broco to be, the beginnings of it, not just like kind of smell what is to come, which is kind of what Priorities is. Big fan of this album, though, in full. I think it fucking rocks because I think that Don Broco is fucking fantastic. And I feel like I'm going to say this every week, but there is something to say about the fact that I hear a song once and on the second listen, I am already singing the chorus back at Rob.
I'm telling you, man, that's just the Don Broco effect.
Or even by the end of the song, the first listen, I am singing the chorus back at him because it is so catchy. They managed to make choruses that are catchy and at times simple enough to remember so easily without them being annoying or obnoxious. They toe that line so perfectly where like sometimes the choruses are very, very simple and like just a couple of words basically repeated.
I mean, isn't that just every chorus though?
But it's not annoying. Like, it's not annoying. It doesn't get old. So like that is something that continues to fascinate me about this band, and quite frankly, even before starting this, always did fascinate me about them, is just how catchy the songs are off the bat.
Yeah.
Like there is no I have to get into this one. Like no, you're into it as soon as it starts playing. Big fan of the first 4 tracks on the record.
Damn right.
You Want to Know, Super Love, Automatic, and Fire. But also a special shout out to Money, Power, Fame, so that you know I actually listened to more than just the first 4 songs on the album.
Thank you. I was curious on that. I was like, okay, did you make it through actually? Or... No, Money, Power, Fame is like my dad's favorite Don Broco song ever.
It fucking rocks.
It's so good. The music video makes no fucking sense. It's awesome. It's just a woman in a car, just like feeling her neck and shit. It's crazy.
But that is just the Don Broco thing. None of it ever makes any sense.
No.
Like it's a serious band, awesome. But none of it makes any sense.
None of it makes sense.
It's like it's a joke.
Exactly. It's like the music part is like, you know, serious, and then it's like the fucking
branding
music
and
video
the visuals.
Part, they just chuck it all out the window. They're like, let's just have fucking fun.
Yeah, we're just sticking around now.
Exactly. Why the hell not? They're giving us money. Let's play with it. Like it's so much fun. I love it so much. This album is one of my favorite albums of all time. I think the way that they mashed pop and rock is so perfect. The balance is incredible. The last record, Priorities, you should, if you haven't already, listen to the album, watch the review. It was a lot more grunge. I keep using grunge, but what like I mean grimy. Is not as poppy.
Yeah.
Grimy.
Yeah.
It's their debut, so it's not going to be as refined, and they didn't know exactly where they were going with the sound yet. But this one, again, is a sign of the era that they made it in. When I hear this, I think of, wow, this sounds kind of like One Direction, if One Direction was like a little heavier, which was the big thing then. I'm pretty sure Made in the AM was dropped in 2016, which is just kind of the loose vibes I'm getting. Maybe it's because I'm delusional and also a One Direction fan. Could be that.
Goes hand in hand.
Exactly. But it's just kind of like that Brit pop vibe that I'm getting that's very, very strong from this album. That sentence was all kinds of fucked up, but you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think the flow of this record is incredible. Big fan of Nerve. I love that they put a really big anthemic slow track in the middle, but I think it really works in the context of the record. Because they immediately pick it back up with What You Do to Me, Money, Power, Fame, Keep on Pushing. They stack that shit immediately afterwards. Further is possibly, it's one of my favorite tracks by them of all time. I think Matt's vocals on it are incredible. They need to put it back into rotation for the set list. They haven't played it since Matt hasn't sung on it, to be more specific, because I don't think that fucking counts if Matt isn't singing. They haven't played it, like both of them, since like 2018 or something. Damn. So it's been a minute, and it's one of my favorites. So I'm like, come on, guys, let's get this shit going again. I think this is incredible. I love to see the progression and almost the gained confidence that I would say Matt and the band have had, because he's a lot more prominent on this record, as you brought up earlier. And he keeps becoming more and more prominent. I mean, you already know Technology and you know Amazing Things like a little bit, but it's like you can kind of see where this is going right now, where instead of Rob being the main vocalist, it slowly becomes two equal vocalists where they both have the equal amount of time. They switch off, and that's what makes Don Broco great. Yeah. I don't know. I fucking love them so much. And this album is incredible. I would put all the albums my number one if I could. I'm kind of dreading the ranking because I don't even know how to fucking rank these records. But yeah, great record. I don't think there are any bad songs. But if I had to say one song that I liked the least, it would probably be Fire. I know you called it out because you liked it, but I don't know. It's so basic pop to me. But even then, it's like, it's still great, and I still know all the lyrics, and I still thoroughly enjoy it. I don't skip it, but it's kind of like that
was like the song I was kind of insinuating at, like when I was like, sometimes the choruses are very simple.
No. Like, shut the fuck up, but actually keep singing because it sounds great. But like, Fun fact, that's the song that got them their record deal.
Hey. Look at that.
There you go.
Look at that. You know, the catchy pop sensibilities, sometimes, you know, there's a reason why it's called pop music.
Exactly.
You know, typically it, you know, it's somewhat popular, could be popular. So, yeah, overall, I thought the record was incredible. I know you mentioned, you know, Nerve kind of bringing it down for a second, big, slow song, but like there's just something about the flow in this record that you barely even notice it, and then they pick it up so well. And I just think that, you know, Tom's bass lines carry so much of that because they are so deep and fat.
Especially on fucking Super Love, second track off the record. He is just there.
Yeah. It's like they crank him to 11 in the mix and forget about everyone else.
Well, he cranked himself to 11 in the mix because he fucking...
Exactly. That's why he's so in the front.
Exactly, which he should be because he is so fucking good. And this record, it's... I keep saying it, but it's like genuinely this band, in my opinion, is like one of the best bands doing it because they have their own distinct sound. Well, in the later albums, they kind of grow into their own, but even in their younger years, they're still carving out a little different path of kind of like weird, funky pop rock, soon to be rap music. It's so fucking weird, and they're so smart. They're so creative. This band's awesome.
Yeah, and they are such an interesting band because it's like you can't place them. Even now, like we're still early in the discography. Obviously, Glory and I both have at least a little bit of familiarity with the later stuff. Glory a lot more than I do, but they mainly play the two newer records. Which is, you know, whatever. Sorry, continue. You know, like even with these records, it's like they are in the scene, quote unquote. They are a scene band. They were on labels that are associated with being in the scene, but they are the furthest thing from being put in a box within the scene. They are simply a band that exists in the scene and nothing more than that. Because we both saw them open for the Used and Pierce the Veil, and I saw them open for Sleeping with Sirens. It's like, yes, they kind of work there, but they're also the wild card on the bill.
Absolutely. It's always just kind of like, what the fuck is happening? Oh, okay, that's kind of cool, but what the fuck?
Yeah.
They only make sense when they make their own bill, when they are the headliner, because it's like
then the bill's
the home
equally
team.
as weird.
Yeah. Exactly, because it was the home team. It was Sky.
Ryan Oakes.
Ryan Oakes. It was like it's like they were able to kind of like pick apart all of their sounds and find like the three elements of their sound and find everybody to kind of match that. But it's like putting them onto a bill.
It's weird.
It doesn't fucking work. Yeah. But they crush it every time.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dick Ryder. I'll shut the fuck up now.
That's great. Well, those are our thoughts on Don Broco's 2016 album, Automatic. Next week, we will be diving into Technology. And then after that, it'll be Amazing Things. And then that'll be the end. That'll be it. And we don't know what's next. We haven't thought that far.
We haven't. But it's making me tear up just thinking about this being over.
Look at that. It's over before it even started, really, man.
That's it, man.
But you can follow us on Twitter. It's good_noise_cast. Instagram is Good Noise Podcast. Facebook is Good Noise Pod. TikTok is Good Noise Podcast. Subscribe to us here on YouTube. It helps us out a ton. Check out our review of Priorities because that's out right now. If you're watching this weeks after that, reviews for Technology and Amazing Things that will be out there. I've been Shane.
I've been Glory.
And we've been the Good Noise Podcast. We'll see you when we see you. Bye.
Bye.